happy fucking whatever day this goes out. This is the Execute Regardless podcast. My name is Callum, I'm the host, and this is the podcast where we teach you how to stack the odds in your favor. No hypothetical bullshit. Tried and tested strategies that are proven to work. Anything you ever hear me talk about will never be stuff that I haven't done myself. I spent a long time losing, so I learned how to win by default. That's what I share with you on this podcast. I have a coffee with me. I have my espresso. You should grab one too. In fact, I'm not going to lie, I have this espresso because it's getting fucking cold in Ireland. And maybe this will warm my body back up. I was fucking outside running. It's like 0 degrees, -1. I don't fucking know. There was ice. And I'm trying to warm my body back up. So I got this coffee, but I'd like you to grab one too. Not only to enjoy it with me, but what we're about to talk about today. So go grab your coffee. As well, grab a notepad if you're here to rewire your mindset. I would recommend, so consider this your one-to-one mentorship program for free. You know, people typically invest a lot of money for the consulting, but we just bring it to you guys for free. But anyways, you're here today because the title of this episode is gonna be something along the lines of how to drown out that voice, how to shut it the fuck up. Right? I don't know what we're gonna call it, but that's the fucking topic of today, is how to drown out that voice that is essentially fucking everything up for you time and time again. Alright? How to make it go away for good. That's what I want to talk about today, because you might not know it, whether you've dealt with it before or whether you're currently dealing with trying to become somebody else. That shit's always going to be there. Always going to be there. It's always going to present itself. It's always going to try creep its way back in. And you have to know how to deal with it. Even me, I fucking face this shit all the time. You know, I would say that I killed the old Callum. Sounds quite bleak, but I would say that I killed the old Callum about just over 3 years ago. If I can get the dates correct, but I killed the old Callum about 3 years ago. The old Callum was somebody who was the opposite of who I am now. They were mentally and physically weak. They were a coward. They weren't the real man. He was not a man of his word. He let a lot of people down. He was, I don't know whether to say, he had no shame. I think he had no shame in terms of how he went on. He had no values. He was the polar opposite of who I am today. And not to fucking make it sound like I'm somebody amazing, but I strive to be a good person. And I fucking deal with keeping that cunt, right? If I know the Americans hate that word. It's a word we use a lot in Ireland, but that fucking asshole, I fight every day to keep him away. Because here's the thing about the inner voice, and we're going to get more into this in a minute. But the inner voice, that person that you're trying to silence, they know you more than anybody. They know all your fucking weaknesses. They know all the temptations. They know how to play you like a fucking fiddle. They know how to play you like a fiddle more than anybody. Alright? And that's what makes it so fucking hard. And every day they're trying to come back. Alright? And the problem is, you know, what happened with me, even up until today, hence the relevance, the timing of this podcast, that motherfucker tried to creep his way back in today. And you know what? I was complacent. I caught myself slipping today. And that's when they strike. They strike when you're not fully dialed in. They strike when life gets busy, or when you tell yourself you're busy. That's when they strike the most. So whether you have become, whether you've became somebody else in recent times and you're struggling, or you're just trying to keep that person away, keep that old version, the one that fucks shit up for you. If you're just trying to keep them away, or maybe you're trying to break free for the first time, right? This podcast is for you. So by now you should have your coffee. Let's rate mine. This one's good. This is a Costa Rica bean. But anyways, so bit of a backstory to today's episode. How did I let this person creep back in? Well, first of all, I worked so fucking hard. Again, not to blow smoke up my ass, but I worked so hard to keep him away every day. I worked my ass off to keep the wolves away. And sometimes life gets in the way. You know, I always talk about the external being constant. The external is never going to away. The external is never going away. It is out there. It is fucking vicious. It is going to keep fucking hitting you. It's going to keep hitting you day after day. And sometimes we don't notice the external taking a toll. And sometimes we get really busy with life. Or as I said earlier, we tell ourselves that we're busy. And lately I've been in a transition period. So, you know, I was living on this golf course, on this huge estate, this hotel and golf resort, but they sold the hotel, and I've had to move. So I'm in the process, me and Chloe, of moving again. And when I move, my routine, which is the most important thing to me, my routine, it always goes up in the air. And I've moved so many times in the last 3 years, you know, I can't even count. I'm sick of fucking moving. And my routine is up in the air again. And this is when that inner voice, that old self, always tries to creep back in. You want to know why? Because when my routine is so fucking dialed in, I'm unbreakable, right? You can't fuck with me. You can't fuck with me when my routine is dialed in. But see, when there's change, or you're in the process of change, or the external throws a curveball at you, and you're caught off guard, you're thrown off balance, you're vulnerable. And this is why it's more important than ever to take note of what I'm saying. Because this is when that person will strike. So I'm in the process of moving again. Then at the same time, managing my company, managing clients, managing so fucking much, right? So much going on. Then at the same time, you got a personal life. You're trying to keep your fucking health dialed in. You know what I mean? You get it. All this is going on. And I've so much fucking shit that I need to get done, right? In all aspects of life. So much shit that we're getting done. And it's so easy when you're tired and when you're moving to just say, you know what? I'm just going to fucking take a 20-minute nap. Just going to take a nap for 20 minutes. I'm wrecked. You know what? I'm just going to run 3 or 4 kilometers today. I'm not going to go strength train. You know what? I'll record that podcast tomorrow. You know, I don't need to upload twice this week. One will do. You know, I can launch that offer next week. You know, those people can wait. This is the fucking shit that creeps into your head. And this is not me, right? So this is from my own experience. This is not me speaking. This is not me. These are not Callum, the person you're listening to right now. That's not me fucking saying this. This is somebody else. This is the old Callum knowing that my schedule has been thrown off balance And that this is when I'm most vulnerable. So it starts to seed these thoughts, starts to fucking lead me astray, starts to fucking lead me on a path to fucking mediocrity, right? To average, not elite, right? It starts fucking bringing me down the fucking path of a loser. And these are temptations, you know. Oh, you know what? I'll just fucking, I can take it easy today. I can take my foot off the accelerator. I can hit the brakes for a while. No, you fucking can't. You can't. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is the type of shit that's going on, and I caught myself today, lucky because my fucking radar, the alarm bells go off. I caught myself today when almost like it's like it makes you feel, number one, this voice makes you feel entitled, as if you're entitled to something. When you're not, you're entitled to nothing. That's the first thing. The second thing is, he'll make you feel comfortable. He'll make you feel comfortable. And I'm telling you, comfort is the enemy of progress. Okay? Comfort is the enemy of progress. This little voice will make you get complacent. It'll want to soften you up. But anyways, to get to the point here, I caught it. I said, you know what? You can't be okay, schedule's off balance a bit, but we need to fucking keep going. We need to execute regardless. Knowing, because I've done this before, I've been over the last few years, it's been back and forth, you know, and eventually I know what happens when you give in. You start to go back. I've never allowed myself to go back, but this fucking voice is always there. So what happens is, I kind of catch it today and I'm saying, no, fuck this, need to get out. Now bear in mind, it's fucking 0 degrees outside. I ran the most mileage that I ever ran last week, 65 kilometers in 1 week. It was my birthday week, still got it all done, hit work deadlines, so much. I had every reason, I had every reason to take a fucking day off. I had every reason to not go outside and run. It's freezing outside. You ran fucking a phenomenal week last week. You ran a half marathon, a lot of 10 milers. It was your birthday week. You hit a lot of work deadlines. You know what? Just go easy today. And I caught myself anyways. I said, no, I need to get something fucking done. I need to get outside. And in my head, I wanted to run 16k. And I said, we'll get out and we'll see what happens. Voice was telling me not to. So anyways, I leave the house and it's freezing. My fucking fingers are numb. I'm running up by this river, and along the way there's so many pathways that you can take to eventually come back to where I live, and each one will shorten the route. So the first one comes up at about 4 kilometers in, and I have an option to swing a left and cut it off, and I just hear this fucking voice and it's telling me, 4 or 5k, it's enough, you deserve a day off, you'll be fine, don't worry about it, it's not going to make a difference with your health, none of that shit. So that was the first battle I had. When I had the silence, I said, shut the fuck up, we keep going. And when you're in that moment, you got to make a split decision. And the thing is, no matter how far you go, and think about this in your own life, no matter how much effort you've put in already, all it takes is for you to give in at that split second, in that moment, and everything you have done and everything you were setting out to do is gone, right? Because you're tempted by this fucking voice on your shoulder that doesn't want what's best for you. And that's what's happening. So I go by the first kind of possible exit at 4 kilometers. Next one's coming up. It's about 6 kilometers. And as I see it in the distance, I'm even fucking colder now. I'm not even warming up. I'm like, fuck, I could take this. It'll be an extra 2 then at this exit, so that'll be about 8 kilometers. You know what? That's good enough. 8 kilometers. Come on, that's fucking decent, right? Like, you could be satisfied with that. Again, I'm getting close, and just boom, I catch myself. Don't negotiate with it, right? And that's the key here. You don't fucking negotiate with this shit. So, catch myself, cut it off. Just as I come to the exit, I say, no, fuck that, keep going. Now, beyond that, there's another exit. I'm sorry, I just got a text message. Sorry. Let me mute my phone. So, go by that. And every exit that passes, every opportunity I have to cut the run short, this fucking little voice that knows me inside out, right? That's fucking knows all my weaknesses, knows how to get me to do, essentially for 24 years, it could get me to do whatever I wanted, right? It's playing all these fucking tricks on me. And as I'm coming up to the last kind of exit before there's a big jump in the run, 10 kilometers, I could have switched off. I was having this fucking like mental warfare, and it went from wanting to do 4 kilometers. From possibly doing 4 kilometers to I'm at the 10k exit now. And if I don't take this, the next exit is 16k, which is 10 miles. And I know, don't fucking negotiate with this shit, right? So anyways, now bear in mind, at 4k, I'm like debating whether to fucking cut this short and go home. Now I'm at 10k. I'm already after beating this fucking guy the last 2. So anyways, I'm coming up to this exit, and then I had to make a split decision again. Don't negotiate, right? I choose not to take the fucking 10k, and I'm like, I'm committing to the 10 miles now, the 16k. And here's the thing that you have to factor in this moment. In that fucking moment, where you have 2 options, you can sacrifice all the effort you've put in now and fucking cop out and suffer the consequence. You can do that, take the easy way out and live comfortable. Go home, warm up your fucking hands. You know what I mean? Get into bed with the girlfriend, cook a nice meal, right? Be comfortable. You can do that. A sheltered life, really. Or at that fucking very moment when you have to make that decision, you can weigh up the consequences. You can weigh up how you're going to feel 2 hours from now. You can weigh up how you're gonna feel about your decision tomorrow and say, you know what, is that really who I am? Because let me tell you something. That's not who I am. And I have to fucking remind myself that that's not who I am. Okay? And let me tell you something interesting about this. Okay? The interesting thing about this is the only way for me to remember who the fuck I am is to drag that voice, to drag that person into deep water, right? That's how I drown out the voice. Not by doing fucking easy shit, not by doing 4 kilometer runs, not by doing 5 kilometer runs. I need to go into deep waters, right? To the point where this fucking voice can't swim. Go to deep waters to the point where this person can't swim, right? Take that person out of their comfort zone. Show them how far you're willing to go, where they're not able to go, right? Where they can't fucking swim. That's how you deal with that. You need to drown that fucking voice. And the only way to drown out that voice is by dragging them out to deep waters, right? And I knew when I made that decision today that we're not taking the 10k. We're not cutting this off at 10k. Now, bear in mind, at this moment, there's so much going through my head, right? It's giving me all the temptations. But I know when we go out into fucking deep water, I'm going to drown you. I know that you can't fucking keep up with me. I know that you're way out of your depth, right? And that's what you need to do. You need to go to deep waters. You need to drag them out and drown them. You need to drag that voice out. Sorry, I'm phrasing that wrong. You need to drag that voice out to deep waters and drown them. That's how you fucking deal with it. And it's only when you're in deep water that you remember who the fuck you really are. In fact, it's only when you're in deep water that you'll find out who you really are. That's where you find out who you are and what you're made of. When you go into deep water. Right? And that's the way I deal with it. That's how I deal with it every day. Every day. I gotta do something fucking hard. Not because I want to be a fucking badass. Because I want to keep the wolves away. I want to keep this fucking voice, right? That's trying to soften me up. That's trying to fucking make me complacent to live a half-assed life. That's why I go to deep waters every day. And that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. How's your coffee going, by the way? How's your coffee going? Mine's going good. Okay? So I just want to make sure that we stay on track here. So that's how you deal with it. You got to drag that voice, that person out to deep waters. Drag them out to depths where they can't survive. Silence it. Suffocate it. Drown it. That's what you have to do. And it's important that you do this. I wrote this down. Why? Let me tell you why it's important. It's important that you do this because there's fucking people relying on you. There's fucking people who are placing bets on you. There's fucking people who are placing all their hope, all their bets on you. Okay? And you've got this, I don't even know what to call it. You've got this fucking voice on your shoulder. This alter ego, this other person who does not want what's best for you, for your younger self, your family, and those who are fucking relying on you, those who are depending on you, those who have placed bets on you, right? This fucking voice on your shoulder, whispering in your ear, trying to fuck everything up. He or she doesn't give a fuck about he or she doesn't give a fuck about you, your family, your younger self, and everything you're trying to achieve. Doesn't give a fuck. Okay? So number one, that's why you need to go to deep water. Right? Because there's people counting on you. More importantly, your younger self. Right? Your younger self. You've got too much to do. You've got too much that you're working on to let this voice fuck shit up. Right? So what I need you to do is, I need you to wake up every day. And here's what I do. I need you to set the fucking state. Okay? The fastest way to drown that voice is to drag it out into deep water. And here's how to do it. When you wake up in the morning, you got to set your state. The quickest way to set your state is by doing something that's physically hard. For me, that's getting up as soon as I wake up and running to the top of the fucking town where I live and back when nobody's up, right? It's like fucking 4:30 in the morning. It's pitch black, nobody's around. I run to the top of the town and I run back. Not for cardio. To set my state. To let that fucking voice know who's in control. I control the fucking day. I'm the one who dictates the course of the trajectory. Me, not you, right? That's why I do it. You can either do it by your thoughts, right? Mental affirmations, or something that's physically hard. I actually do both. When I'm fucking running up the town, not only am I doing something that's physical, but at the same time, I'm fucking saying crazy shit. I'm saying everything I'm going to do today. I'm saying that, I'm out loud. I'm speaking about everything I'm coming to get. I combine the two. So by the time I get back to my fucking doorstep and I'm ready to go, I can't be stopped, right? And that's how I set myself up for the day, so I can't be fucked with. And I have to do that every day. So when you see me on Instagram or wherever and you see that guy's always running, he must be doing it for ego or aesthetics. It's for none of that bullshit. It's to keep the wolves away. It's to silence this fucking voice. It's to drown him out. But also to let him know who's in fucking control. Me. And so are you. And every day you need to do this. Because think about it. Here's the way it works. Just so you can understand the psychology behind it. Here's where power stems from. So power is defined as the ability to act, control, or influence a person, an object, a place, or a thing. Most people associate the word power with negative things, when essentially having power over your own life is what we should all be striving for. Okay? Having power over oneself, not over somebody else. That is not a bad thing. In fact, that's very important. Okay, so you want to assert power over your life, but you got to understand where this power stems from. Well, power stems from belief. Okay, that's where it all starts. It all starts with how you see the world, the story you tell yourself. So the fucking voice on your shoulder, what's going on is this voice is telling you a fucking story, right? Think about this. The voice on your shoulder is telling you a story. It's saying, you know what? You're all good. You had a very productive week. As I said, you ran enough miles. You hit all your goals this week. Just take the day off. This is the story. This is the bullshit that this little voice tells me to make me feel like I've done enough. Right? Fuck that shit. Then what happens next? That voice, then that changes my thoughts. So belief changes your thoughts, but at the same time your physiology. So the way this works is from your beliefs, the next layer up is internal representations, so your mental visions, plus your physiology. So, if, for example, how this would impact your behavior. If you're feeling tense, okay, if you're stressed, there's fucking dogs barking. If you're feeling stressed, oh my God, that dog, shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. So, if you're feeling stressed, that is then going to change level 3, which is your state. Okay, so if you're physiologically stressed, okay, the tension is going to change your state to a negative state, and your state is what determines your behavior. So let's map this out. You should write this down, by the way. Right, so starting at the bottom, you've got belief, which is the story, how you see the world. Next level up, you've got your internal representations, which is your visions, your thoughts, plus, on the same level, plus your physiology. So either of those is going to determine level 3, which is your state. So if you're, let's say, for example, the story you're telling yourself is, I grew up with no money, therefore I will never be able to make money. I will never be able to start a business and become successful. If that's your story, well, now your internal representations are going to be visions of not being able to make money. And number 2, you're possibly going to be all tensed when the topic of money comes up. Now, that then leads to a change in state. Now, your state is one of disempowerment. You don't feel confident, okay? Anxiety, possibly. You become anxious when people talk about money. Now your state, so think about this, it's all stemming back to belief. So you got belief, internal representations, plus physiology. Your state is now determined from that. And then as a result of your state, that influences your behavior. So, for example, let's say there's a great investment opportunity that comes up where it's a no-brainer. Let's say Warren Buffett offers you a deal of a lifetime. But the story is that you've been telling yourself, or your belief about the world is, well, nobody in my family ever started a business, therefore I can't. Now, I'm running these mental visions in my mind, or seeing myself never being able to make money, okay? When money comes up, I'm very tense. Now my state is one of, I don't believe I can make money. I'm anxious when people talk about money. I don't feel confident. In fact, I just feel uncertain. That's my state. Now, my behavior is Warren Buffett comes up to me with the fucking deal of a lifetime, right? With a guarantee. At the same time, if I'm in a state of uncertainty, anxiousness, lack of belief, that determines my decision. I'm not going to give Warren Buffett the money or the whatever's required for the investment because of the state that I was in. Whereas if I rewire that, let's say, for example, okay, I change the story. I say, you know what? I didn't grow up with money, but there's so many people out there who started with nothing and made something big for themselves, who made a fantastic life for themselves. Now my vision changes to one of the underdog, okay? So now I'm running new mental pictures in my mind. I'm telling myself, I'm seeing it. What I'm doing is I'm running a new story in my mind. I'm seeing it. My physiology is much better now. I don't feel as tense. I don't feel stressed. My state now becomes one of confidence, one of certainty, one of belief. I can do this. So now when I see a good opportunity, think about this, when I see an opportunity now that can help me actually make that vision a reality, I'm going to pull the trigger. Does that make sense? So that's what I do every morning. To keep the power, to assert power over my life. Every day I go to deep waters. Not only just to deep waters, but I set the state. And that's just something that I wanted to mention, so you can do this too. So when I go out, just to make sense of what I'm saying now, okay, I write the narrative. I'm the director. You're the fucking director. We write the script. So I write the script, the movie that I want to run, the one that I want to play out today, tomorrow, next week, next month, the life that I want, right? My belief about the world. I run that movie. I get up, 4:30 in the morning. I'm running down the fucking street. I'm picturing this shit. I'm running this movie in my mind, but at the same time, right, because you can do this 3 ways. You can do it in your mind, you can say it out loud, or you can feel it. I do all 3. I'm running this fucking picture of what it's like in my mind. At the same time, I'm saying it out loud. What's coming to me, what I'm going to get, what I'm going to get from the day, right? Everything I deserve. I'm saying this shit out loud, and I'm feeling it. At the same time, I'm fucking pack-a-punching this shit with the physiological aspect, right? Which is also improving my state. So now, I'm fucking on the way home, and my state is one of certainty. I'm unstoppable. I can't be beaten, right? It's this fucking winning state. So by the time I get to my front door, the question becomes, what the fuck do I need to do today to make this happen? Does that make sense? Right? So that's how I run that every day. That's how I do that. That's how I control my state. So by the time I get home, it's just a matter of knocking the dominoes. It's like, okay, what the fuck do I need to do today to make this happen? And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. We've got too much riding on this. Remember, you were meant for more. You were born to be elite. This isn't it for you. This isn't it for me either. All right? We're on this fucking journey together. Don't let that voice stop you. So listen, gonna wrap this up. I'm a little bit warmer now. This podcast has heated me up. You guys get me fired up. And as always, I appreciate you. So remember, the only difference between winning and losing is your ability to execute regardless. Don't let that fucking voice on your shoulder, don't let that voice get in the way of what is truly yours, what you deserve. Don't let it get in the way of the people who have betted on you, the people who are counting on you. Don't let it fuck shit up for them. Even if you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for them. Remember that. But anyways, I appreciate you. Until next time, I'll love you and I'll leave you. And by the way, if this was a good episode, if you enjoyed this one, do hit the 5-star button. It would mean the world. Hit the 5-star button. Send me a screenshot. Say, Cal, I got you. Right? Execute regardless. Winners win. Let's fucking go. You were born to be elite. Go tell someone you love them.